So imagine using lies and fuzzy math to convince people to not only invest in your company, but to invest in your industry as well. Because if you laid out the entire truth, taking them on a tour of the year-by-year earnings, what they would see is a tale of mismanagement and the loss of tens of millions of dollars a year. $36 million here, $26 million there, and it just keeps on going. That pretty much is the reality for much of an industry led by a Marvel, led by a DC, led by people who don't like their consumers and on, where the quarterly losses are so anticipated that when you see something like this, oh, look, there's a loss, here's another loss, wait a minute, a gain there, you start asking questions, and those questions, yeah, they lead you some really, really troubling facts. Oh, what a mess indeed. So hey there, do you fine folks on this fine day, by the way? If you would, share this video everywhere, help this thing get traction, comment, like, feed that pesky algorithm. If you're subbed to the channel, make sure you're still subbed to it. And if you haven't, well, consider it and thank you. So first thing, if you know absolutely nothing about this industry, it's A-OK. Basically, we're talking about an industry that engages in predatory practice on the regular. They're taking down comic book shops that would be their customer with this stuff, with issues that are considered quote-unquote milestones. That means that they can pump out 20 to 50 covers of the same book. They're not returnable, by the way, so if you can't sell them, that's on you. And look at these pricing points here. Even if you get them wholesale, how many things do you think you can eat at a wholesale $9.99 before your family? It doesn't get to eat that much. Now, the reason that many comic book producers do this, not all, mind you, but many of them do it. Number one, it's because they can. I mean, after all, who are the shops going to complain to? But number two, more importantly, they're going broke. Despite all of the theatrics, despite all the pomp and ceremony, they're not making the money that they need to stay afloat. And you can see that. I mean, you can see it real time. Now, most comic book companies, they can get away with things like that because really, a lot of them, nobody sees their numbers. They're not publicly traded stocks. Even if they are, if they're like a Marvel or DC, they will bury those numbers so deep that you can't see them. But this company here, IDW, oh, they can't hide this stuff. They cannot hide it at all. So you can imagine my shock when I ran across this in their newest numbers. They're telling me that they made net income of $2.5 million. Their shareholders, they basically made money. I thought, yeah, that's good. I could expect that for them. And then I realized I wasn't drunk enough to actually think that. Now, granted, it doesn't take me very long to figure out where the lie or the fuzzy mathematics, wherever you want to call this, hails from, and I'll show you that in just a second. But what worries me about this is you have people that are looking for investment. They see a place that's making money again, and they think, hey, that industry, maybe it's on the rebound. The problem is that the industry helmed by Marvel and DC, it's always declining. Sooner or later, it's going to hit rock bottom, and it's going to look like it makes gains, but that doesn't really mean anything, does it? I mean, after all, you look at this company here. 2017 is when it starts losing money. That's not listed here, but the company's worth about $50 million. And that year, they make negative $800,000. If that sounds crazy, by the way, making negative money, well, look at what they make in 2018. You go down, you look, negative loss attributable to, you look at what's here in brackets equal losses. They lost a staggering $36,022,000. Now, in 2019, they say, hey, we did much better. They clean house, too. In 2019, they get rid of pretty much anyone that they can in management, but by then, it's pretty much too late. They say, though, look what we did. We did better. After all, we only lost $26,429,000 instead of the previous $36 million and change. Now, when you get into 2020, The losses, they continue. And the only reason they're not worse than this, you know what went on at the end of 2020? Well, still, they end up losing $13,798,000. Now, even at quarter one, 2021, you can see these losses spell out. You'll notice right here, net loss attributable to IDW Media. You'll notice quarter one, 2021, they lose $6.3 million. And the loss per share, well, you see how much money they end up losing. 62 cents per share. This, it just keeps going across the board. Here's where the confusion on this comes from, though. If you look at this money here, quarter two, 2021, again, you'll notice net income loss, and you'll see these gains. But then you look at income loss per share of continuing operations. You have a gain on the shares, but you also have an asterisk. Asterisk, I wonder. Now, if you go down here and you look at the asterisk, they have sale of discontinued operation included. Wait a minute, sale of discontinued operation. Now this is where your answer comes from. And this is also where things get really, really sneaky. Why? Because they didn't make this money, going out and selling things. They made it by selling off part of the business. See, IDW, overall, they're called IDW Media Holdings, and they're broken down into three components. You have IDW Publishing. IDW Publishing, they handle comic books, they handle board games, and on, and you can see that they don't make money. You have IDW Entertainment. Now, interestingly, IDW Entertainment, they will make money sometimes. I mean, they have shows like Lock and Key. They actually have some really good franchises out there. In places like Netflix, they will pick them up off and on. Then you have this, CTM. CTM is pretty much useless, and you know what? They decided that they would sell that off. That's what it's talking about here. CTM's bottom line results are reported as net loss income from discontinued operations in all periods presented. So, when you look at that chart and you see them making money, they didn't make it off comic books, they didn't make it off entertainment, they made it by selling off part of their business. An industry that is dead is convincing people to go in and give it its money based off of selling off the very assets that keep it alive. Now, the saddest part about all of this isn't just the subterfuge or misleading people, it's the need to mislead at all. I mean, these companies, they're starting to make better products. At least IDW is here. They make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, The Last Ronin. They make Lock and Key, Sandman Universe crossover. But unfortunately, these titles are not enough to undo the damage that they've done over the years. See, these folks, they've had management practices where they denigrated consumers. Their other pros, they would do that as well. And yeah, on top of shoddy products, they lost consumers, and consumers, they will never come back. That has been management under Marvel. That has been management of an industry under DC Comics. IDW, they did the same. And well, look at where it got us. Look at where it got us indeed. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. As always, too, appreciate the heck out of you. And until next time, let me say thank you again. Check out the links in the description as well, and we will see you soon.